Poland to buy hundreds of South Korean tanks, howitzers, after sending arms to Ukraine. Naive to think Russia can be trusted, say Polish diplomat. So South Korea CNN. Poland is buying almost 1,000 tanks, more than 600 pieces of artillery, and dozens of fighter jets from South Korea, in part to replace the equipment donated to Ukraine to help Kiev fight the Russian invasion. The Polish Ministry of Defense told CNN on Tuesday. The agreement, expected to be officially announced in Poland on Wednesday, will see Warsaw purchase 980 tanks based on the South Korean K2 model, 648 self-propelled and K9 armored howitzers, and 48 FA-50 fighter jet. The ministry said it would not confirm the value of the deal. The first 180 K2 tanks made by Hyundai Rotem and equipped with auto-loading 120mm guns are expected to arrive this year, with the production of 800 upgraded tanks starting in 2026 in Poland, according to the ministry. The first 48 K9 howitzers made by Hanwha Defense are also expected to arrive this year, with delivery of the second batch of 600 due to start in 2024. From 2025, these will be produced in Poland, the ministry said. The ministry said that these are armored vehicles would in part replace the Soviet-era tanks that Poland has donated to Ukraine to use in its fight against Russia. The ministry's commented to CNN come after Polish Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak tweeted on July 22nd that the deal would significantly increase Poland's security and the strength of the Polish army. CNN has reached out to the South Korean Defense Acquisition Program Administration and the arms manufacturers involved for comment. Chun In-bom, a retired South Korean general, said the deal with Poland is Seoul's single biggest weapons export pact ever. He also praised the weapons involved. The K9 howitzers is probably the best artillery system in the world, rivaled only by the German system. The FA-50 is the combat version of the T-50, which has gained a reputation for being the best trainer in the world inventory. The K2 tank in its latest version will be better than anything South Korea has to date, Chun said. A South Korean K2 tank takes part in a live fire demonstration in 2018. Higher profile for Korean arms. Leif Erik Easley, associate professor of international studies at Ewha Women's University in Seoul, said the arms deal had its root in the administration of former President Moon Jae-in, who sought large foreign contracts to boost South Korea's defense industries. Moon's successor, President Yoon Suk-yeol, who took the office in May, also wants to push such export, Easily said. But the war in Ukraine increases the geopolitical stakes for Seoul, Easily said. The profitable arms deal with Poland, a NATO member, means South Korea will be expected to share the burden for defense of the international order, Easily said. Washington and NATO will expect Seoul to increase its assistance to Ukraine and maintain sanctions against Russia, even if doing so comes at some cost to the South Korean economy, Easily said. Since joining NATO in 1999, Poland has become a key member of the 30-member alliance, and has been purchasing US-made military equipment, including Abrams main battle tanks and the F-35 stealth fighter jet. Poland has also become a big backer of the government in Kiev following Russia's invasion, making deals to send more than 200 tanks and self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine. Urgent needs. During a visit to Seoul in May, the Polish Defense Ministry said the war in Ukraine showed Poland's urgent need for South Korean arms. We talked about accelerating the deliveries of these weapons to the Polish army. Why is it important? Because of the war on our eastern border, it's important for Polish armed forces to be equipped with the modern equipment, proven equipment, and such is the equipment produced by Korea, Blatchak said at the time. He said South Korea and Poland faced similar security situations and therefore needed similar weapons. Why is Korean equipment proven? Because Korea has the challenge of each northern neighbor who also conducted an aggressive policy. So our task is to equip the Polish armed forces with modern equipment that will deter the aggressor. Such equipment is undoubtedly produced in Korea, Blaschak said. Some defense industry analysts question whether the South Korean weapons are the right fit for Europe. However, Nicholas Drummond, a defense industry analyst specializing in land warfare and a former British Army officer, said the K2 tank is essentially a less capable version of the German Leopard 2 main battle tank. Same gun, same engine, and gearbox, but overall less sophisticated with inferior electronic architecture. Not a bad tank, but not class of the field, he said. Drummond also said hardware made in Asia may eventually face supply chain problems during a war in Europe. It writes that Asian countries buy from Korea as these customers can easily be supported in time of war. However, supporting European customers in the emergency is likely to be more challenging, he said. A FA-50 Golden Eagle fighter jet of the South Korean Air Force at the U.S. Air Base in South Korea in 2017. South Korea's ground attack jet. The FA-50 jet produced by Korean aerospace industries in association with the U.S. defense giant Lockheed Martin is a supersonic light combat aircraft suitable for ground attack and some air-to-air missions. The airplane flown by the South Korean Air Force since 2013 is armed with Sidewinder air-to-air missiles, Maverick air-to-ground missiles, and the three battered 30mm cannon for strafing guns. It can also use the precision guided and gravity bombs. The FA-50 in its combat and training versions has found export customers in Colombia, Indonesia, Iraq, the Philippines, and Thailand. But with each order for 48 planes, Poland would become a biggest operator of the jet outside South Korea.